Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Namaste to all gadgeted officers, doctors, surgeon, IS, IPS. Success in competitive exams is not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. Success in competitive exam is not about studying harder, it is about studying smarter. Current affairs are the key that connect your preparation with the real world. Welcome to the weekly current affairs Part 2 series from 24th August to 31st August 2025, where we will cover important updates from science, technology, national, international events, specially curated for UPSC, BPSC, state PCS, SSC, banking, IBPS, SBI, NDA, CDS, and many other competitive exams. So, my dear aspirants, stay focused, take notes, and keep moving one step closer to your dream. Let's get started. Next news is about Arctic Sea ice loss slows temporarily. Arctic Sea ice loss slows temporarily. So, recent studies reveal that the pace of Arctic Sea ice loss has slowed over the past 2 decades. So, this slowdown is temporary, it's not permanent. The Arctic ice, sea ice loss slow is not permanent. It is temporary and linked to natural climate variability, natural climate changes rather than a reverse of global warming trends. Scientists warn that melting will increase again, melting will accelerate again, possibly exceeding previous rates. Possibly it may exceed previous rates of melting. The findings underline there is a complex interaction between human induced climate change and natural climate cycles. So according to scientists, their findings, they underline there is a complex interaction between the because of the human induced climate change and natural climate cycle. So recent studies reveal that the pace of Arctic sea ice loss slows, but it is temporary. Arctic sea ice decline. What are Arctic sea ice decline or decreasing? Arctic sea ice has been a key indicator of climate change for over 50 years. So it is a key indicator of climate change for over 50 years. Since the 1980s, the region has lost more than 10,000 cubic kilometers of sea ice due to rising global temperatures. This melting is primarily caused by greenhouse gas emissions like methane and carbon dioxide gas emission because of the human activities such as burning fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, natural gases, etc. So the loss, because of this reason, the loss of sea ice contributes to global warming, increasing the earth temperature by reducing the earth's reflective surface. So the loss of sea ice contributes to global warming by reducing the earth's reflecting surface. What are the recent slowdown in Arctic sea ice loss? From 2003 to 2023, the rate of sea ice loss slowed to about 0.35 million square kilometers per decade. These contrast with the peak melting rate of approximately 1.3 million square kilometers per decade between 1993 and 2012. The slowdown does not indicate recovery but reflects natural climate variability affecting the Arctic environment. Role of natural climate variability. So there are a few roles of natural climate changes and variability. Natural climate patterns like Pacific decadal oscillation. Another one is the Atlantic multidecadal variability. They affect Arctic sea ice. These patterns cause fluctuations in sea surface temperature that can temporarily cool Arctic waters. So these cooling reduces ice melt for periods lasting several years. So, because of this reason, this cooling reduces ice to melt for periods which is lasting several years. Such internal climate changes operates alongside human-driven warning and can mask or amplify or increase long-term trends of ice cooling. About climate models and future projection, climate models simulate both historical and future Arctic condition. So they show that slowdowns in sea ice loss are expected to recur even under high greenhouse emission scenarios. Even under high greenhouse emission scenarios, they show that slowdown in sea ice loss are expected to happen. Current projection estimates a 50% chance the slowdown lasts another 5 years and a 25% chance it continues for 10 years. So there are according to current projection, it estimates a 50% chance the slowdown lasts another 5 years and a 25% chance it continues for 10 years. After this, melting is likely to accelerate to increase sharply. What are implications of accelerated melting? When the slowdown ends, model predict an additional loss of zero point 0.6 million square kilometers of sea ice per decade beyond the long-term average. So this rapid decline will intensify global warming, contribute to sea level rise, and disturb ecosystem of Arctic region. So the loss of sea ice also affects weather patterns globally by changing atmospheric circulation. What are urgency for climate action? Despite the temporary slowdown, human greenhouse gas emission remain at unprecedented levels, unexpected levels, help in increasing global temperature. The study emphasizes that natural changes, variability should not delay efforts to reduce greenhouse emission. Immediate climate action is needed to reduce severe impacts on the Arctic and global environment. So, immediate climate action is required to take care severe impacts on Arctic and global environment. Next news is about the biostimulants in Indian agricultures. India is witnessing shift and development in agriculture with the rise of biostimulants. So biostimulants are substances which are derived from seaweed, humic acid, amino acid, vitamins, and beneficial microbes. So India is witnessing in development in agriculture with the increased amount of biostimulants. So these natural products help plants withstand different types of climate changes, climate stress, improve nutrient in uptake also, and it also increase crop yields without synthetic chemicals, without synthetic use of any chemicals, fertilizer, etc. So these changes aligns with India's goal for sustainable farming, to get the to improvement take place in sustainable farming and global export growth also. Biostimulants are used in both organic and conventional farming to increase crop resilience, to increase crop production. Biostimulants are substances or microorganisms that improve plant physiology, nutrient uptake, crop production, stress tolerance in Indian agriculture, distinct from fertilizer and pesticide used. Recent issues include widespread farmer complaints about the efficacy and force sale of biostimulants, promoting the government to tighten oversight and consider new regulation under the Fertilizer Control Order 1985. So it is promoting the government to tighten oversight and consider new regulation for biostimulant in Indian agriculture under the Fertilizer Control Order 1985. Examples include seaweed extract, amino acid, humic acid, which stimulate natural plant processes rather than providing nutrients directly, rather than giving nutrients directly. So, about market growth and drivers, the Indian biostimulant market is expected to reach USD 1.13 billion by the year 2032. It is a great advancement in the field of biostimulate for Indian agriculture. It is growing at an annual rate of 15.64%. Growth is driven by rising demand for sustainable agriculture, government support, and the need for climate resilient crops. It reduces environmental damages also while improving crop productivity. Biostimulants are substances or microorganisms that stimulates natural physiological processes within a plant, improving its growth, plant's growth, nutrients efficiency, crop quality, and crop tolerance to different types of stress without acting as a fertilizer, without use of any fertilizer or pesticide, without more use of fertilizer or pesticide. So their biostimulants are often derived from natural resources including plant derived waste materials, seaweed extracts, vitamins, antioxidants, amino acid, humic acid, fulvic acids, beneficial bacteria and fungi. So these are often derived from these natural resource sources. Why biostimulants are important for Indian agriculture? Because it is stress tolerance, it like drought, extreme temperature, and other harsh condition. They improve the plant's ability to withstand different types of environmental stresses. Now it also improved growth and crop production, increase leaf area. It also boosts root growth and improves overall crop production. It also provides better nutrient uptake. It helps in increasing the plant's ability to absorb and utilize nutrients from the soil. It also helps in increasing crop quality. It can improve fruit color, grain feel, and post harvest quality. It also reduces chemical input, so it offers a path towards more sustainable farming, organic farming, by potentially reducing the reliance on conventional chemical fertilizer and pesticides. So it also reduces the dependence on use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides. So these are the importance of biostimulate in Indian agriculture. So plant biostimulates extract seaweed extract, plant-derived bioactive substances, chitosan polyphenols, microbial inoculants, beneficial bacteria, beneficial fungi, microbial symbiosis. Others are inorganic salt, anti-transparents, protein hydroxylates, enzymatic extracts, acid substances as humic, fulvic acid. U means beneficial chemicals, elements, amino acid, and other organic acids. So these are the sources which we get the plant biostimulates, which stimulates plant growth, nutrients assimilation, efficiency, plant tolerance to abiotic stresses, favors soil microflora, and it also increase crop production and quality of enhances quality of crops. About regulatory framework in India, about the biostimulant in India. So, first one is the Fertilizer Control Order FCO 1985, which are regulated. Biostimulants are regulated under the Fertilizer Control Order 1985, which specifies, which mention their definition, quality standards, and the sale procedure, sale methods. Second regulatory framework in India for biostimulants are Central Biostimulant Committee. Yes, it is a committee which advises the government on biostimulate matters, including the listing of categories like plant derived materials, seaweed extracts, humic acid, and beneficial microbes. So these are the two regulatory framework in India for biostimulant. Second one, what are the government intervention? Government intervention is very important because the union minister, agriculture minister has directed states to stop the forced sale of biostimulants along with subsidized fertilizer due to farmers' complaint about their effectiveness and coercive sales practices. Next, there are some challenges and concern for biostimulant. It is ineffective because many farmers have complained that biostimulants are ineffective, leading to their financial losses. Some coercive practices is also there. The retailers have been accused of forcing farmers to buy biostimulants along with subsidized fertilizer and chemicals. The another challenges are the need for stronger oversight is required. So there is a growing need for greater regulatory oversight and stricter checks to ensure product quality and genuine benefits for farmers. These are the need for stronger oversight. So these are the challenges. Issues with biostimulants, questionable efficacy as they are about the compared about the ineffectiveness of biostimulants, Unregulated sale in the past, biostimulants were sold without government approval for years since they were neither classified as fertilizer nor pesticides. So, unregulated sale in the past, over 30,000 products were sold unchecked for years. After government regulation, the number has now come down to approximately, it becomes 650. Other issue with biostimulants are provisional certification loophole. There are some certification loophole. Manufacturers were allowed to sell products with only provisional registration, which was extended repeatedly. This delayed the enforcement of full regulatory standards. Now, about the 1985 Fertilizer Control Order and the Insecticide Act 1968, in India, fertilizer and pesticide are governed by 1985 Fertilizer Control Order and the Insecticide Act of 1968, respectively. The Union Minister of Agriculture and the Farmers' Welfare issues the Fertilizer Control Order (FCO) under the Essential Commodities Act 1955 and makes changes it from time to time. So the Act is 1955. Now, recent government action to biostimulants. The Union Government Minister wrote to a Chief Minister urging them to stop the forced tagging on biostimulants with the subsidized fertilizer like urea and DAP. The latest extension of provisional certificates expired on June 16, 2025, after which companies cannot sell unapproved biostimulants. So, in addition to this, Agriculture Ministry notified specification of biostimulants for many crops, including tomato, chili, cucumber, paddy, brinjal, cotton, potato, green gram, grape, hot pepper, soybean, maize, and onion. So these crops, Agriculture Ministry notified specification of biostimulant for several crops. Regulation of biostimulant is 2021. The Ministry of Agriculture amended the 1985 FCO and included biostimulants, which is paving the way for their regulated manufacturing, sale, and import. The inclusion of biostimulants empowered the central government. It empowers the central government to fix such type of specification. The FCO classified biostimulants specified in Schedule 6 of FCO in 8 categories, including botanical extract, biochemicals, vitamins, and antioxidants. So, every manufacturer or importer of biostimulants shall make an application to the controller of biofertilizer along with the requisite product information. The product's chemistry, source, natural extract of plant, microbe, animal, synthetics, cell life, reports of bioefficacy, trials, and toxicity must be submitted along with other data. What are the 5 basic acute toxicity tests are? The biostimulants, according to the Act of Biostimulants, acute oral, acute dermal, acute inhalation, primary skin irritation, and eye irritation. These are the 5 basic acute toxicity tests. Now, the 4 ecotoxicity tests are also there: toxicity to birds, to fees, to honeybees, and to earthworm. The FCO clearly states that no biostimulant shall contain any pesticide beyond the permissible limit of 0.01 ppm. It is not cross the limit of 0.01 ppm. So, no biostimulant shall contain any pesticide. Agronomic bioefficiency trials shall be conducted under the National Agricultural Research Team Research System. Agronomic bioefficiency trials shall be conducted under the Natural Agricultural Research System, including the Indian Council of Agricultural Research and state agricultural universities. There are few bioific acid trials shall be conducted at minimum 3 different doses for 1 season at 3 agroecological locations. India's export potential. India's benefit from rich biodiversity, large arable land, and cost-effective research. Indian companies export biostimulate to over 45 countries. So it is a very advantage for Indian companies. So they are exporting biostimulates to over 45 countries, including those in Europe, Latin America, and Africa. Indian products meet all global standards like REACH, ISO, and EU regulation, enhancing export competitiveness. What are the role of MSMEs in innovation? Micro, small, and medium enterprises lead innovation and distribution of biostimulants in India. They face different types of challenges such as a high regulatory cost and limited testing facilities. Proposed solutions include public bioefficiency centers, tied licensing, subsidized data generation, and harmonized global standard to ease compliance and boost exports. ICAR's contribution, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, supports biostimulate development by creating standard protocols and validating products. It provides affordable access to data and formulation for MSMEs. This reduces dependence on foreign technologies and promotes science-based growth in domestic and international markets. About policy measure to strengthen its position, India needs policies like export subsidies, eco-labeling, blockchain, traceability, and public-private R&D partnership. Bilateral agreements on sustainable inputs can further enhance trade. Indian firms already export to countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, UAE, Egypt, Spain, Kenya, expanding their global footprints. Next news is about the fortified rice initiative to strengthen nutrition in India. The government of India has scaled up the distribution of fortified rice under various food safety net programs by March 2024. So this movement is a part of a Anemia Mukt Bharat. Anemia, spelling mistake is there, anemia, AE. Anemia Mukt Bharat initiative, which is launched in 2018 to fight against micronutrient deficiency, especially anemia. The Union Cabinet has approved the continuation of universal fortified rice supply till December 2028 with full government funding amount to rupees 17,082 crore. So the Union Cabinet has approved the continuation of universal fortified rice supply till December 2028 with full government funding, and the amount is 17,082 crore. Anemia, what is Anemia Mukt Bharat? Anemia Mukt Bharat, it helps in reducing anemia with the help of fortified foods which are rich in iron, folic acid, and vitamin B12. So, rice fortification began as a pilot project in 2019, which is targeting rice consuming population. It now forms a critical part of government scheme supplying custom milled rice. Fortified rice improves in hemoglobin levels among people, and it also supports mental and neurological health. About role of food safety programs under schemes such as Public Distribution System PDS and Pradhan Mantri Poshan school meals, fortified rice replaces normal rice. So it replaces normal rice. It ensures widespread access to micronutrient enriched food. The Department of Food and Public Distribution shoulders the cost of fortification. It is ensuring affordability and reach to all states. So, rice fortification, food from food securities towards nutrition security, rice enriched with three micronutrients to fight nutritional deficiency, mostly that is anemia. It consists of iron, which fights against anemia, consists of folic acid, which helps in fetal development and blood formation. It also consists of vitamin B12, which helps in normal functioning of nervous system. So, this fortified rice consists of iron, vitamin A, vitamin B1, which is also called thiamine, vitamin B9, which is also called folic acid, zinc, vitamin B6, which is also called pyridoxine, niacin, vitamin B3, vitamin niacin, and cobalamin, vitamin B12. Cobalamin is vitamin B12. So, these fortified rice consist of all the nutrients which help to fight against micronutrition and also against anemia and increase the level of human hemoglobin. Benefits of fortified rice aims to reduce malnutrition rates significantly, especially among women and children who are disproportionately affected by these deficiencies. It is also easy to use as a widely consumed staple. Substituting standard rice with fortified rice is a straightforward way to improve diets, to improve nutrition. It also provides consistency. Fortified rice retains the same look, same taste, same cooking properties as non-fortified rice, and it is making it an attractive option for consumers unfamiliar with nutritional education. It is also cost effective. Costs are relatively low compared to the extensive health benefits it provides, making it an economically viable solution. About National Food Security Act, NFSA, the National Food Security Act, NFSA, enacted on July 5, 2013, shift India's food security approach to a right-based framework. It entitled 75% of the rural and 50% of the urban population to subsidize food grains, covering two-thirds of the total population. The National Food Security Act, enhances the targeted public distribution system, focuses on nutritional quality, empowers women, and stabilizes a grievances redressal mechanism, which is ensuring accountability. Overall, National Food Security Act (NFSA) aims to address hunger and malnutrition while promoting food as a fundamental human right. So, it is about the rice fortification. Food Safety and Standard Authority of India define it is a method of improving the food nutritional profile with posing minimum health risk. With malnutrition rates are alarmingly very high in India, where every second woman is anemic. In India, every second woman is anemic and every third child is short height. So, rice fortification is viewed as a viable strong strategy to supplement diets lacking essential nutrients, which are lacking in essential nutrients. The need for rice fortification, according to the National Family Health Survey NFH5 conducted between 2019 and 2021, according to this data, anemia is widespread across various age groups and income levels, affecting their overall health and productivity. They are suffering from deficiency in iron, vitamin B12, and folic acid, which are particularly prevalent, further increasing the nation health issue also, aggravating the nation's health issue also. It is given that the average per capita rice consumption in India is 6.8 kg per month. Average per capita rice consumption in India is 6.8 kg per month. Fortifying rice provides an accessible means to enhance to improve nutritional intake, which is particularly for economically disadvantaged groups. So there are complementary fortified products, double fortified salt containing. There are other products are also there. The second one is the double fortified salt, which is containing iron and iodine. And fortified edible oils are also there. Fortified edible oils which are enriched with vitamins A and D. These are used alongside fortified rice. First one is a fortified rice. Second is double fortified salt, which consists of iron and iodine. Fortified edible oils, which are enriched with vitamin A and D. So these double fortified salt helps to fight against iron deficiency, anemia, and goiter also. Fortified oils prevents vitamin A and vitamin D deficiency. Together, they provide comprehensive micronutrient supports. Now, about the school nutrition and child development program is also there. So, the Department of School Education and Literacy integrates fortified rice into the school meals under Pradhan Mantri Poshan Yojana. So, this addresses micronutrients deficiency among school children across all states and union territories. Improved nutrition enhances cognitive developments, mental development, physical development, learning outcomes, and overall health of students. About nutrition support from dairy sector, the National Dairies Development Board Foundation for Nutrition promotes fortified milk products also. So it's gift milk. Name of the milk is gift milk, fortified milk products. Its gift milk program distributed over 7 lakh liters of milk, which is benefiting approximately 41,700 children in 11 states. Gift milk program distributed over 7 lakh liters of milk, which is benefiting approximately 41,700 children in 11 states. And the program name is Gift Milk. This initiative raises awareness on malnutrition and encourages milk consumption as part of a balanced diet. About women and adolescent nutrition, fortified rice is also provided under the wheat based nutrition program and scheme for adolescent girls. So, these efforts target micronutrient deficiency in women and adolescent girls to reduce anemia and improve health outcomes, which is supporting national nutrition goals. About foods processing industry nutritional developments, so the Ministry of Food Processing Industry supports infrastructure and innovation through schemes, and schemes are Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises. So these are the schemes. So these programs improves food processing capacity, reduce food wastages, create jobs also, and promotes processed food exports, indirectly supporting nutrition security in India. Now, demand for machine readable voter rolls in India. Demand for machine readable voter rolls in India. The debatable voter roll transparency in India has intensified in 2025. The opposition demand that a election commission provide machine to political parties. So these demands follow allegation of vote theft. These demands follow allegation of vote theft, and it concerns about duplicate and irregular entries in voter list. So about current voter roll system, voter rolls are official list of eligible voters in India. They are updated regularly to include new voters, remove ineligible ones also, and it also reflects address changes. The Election Commission oversees this process using a digital tool. The name of the digital tool is called ERONET. District official prepare voter lists which are then published as image PDFs or printed copies. These lists include voter photos, but the photos are not part of the online image PDFs. Now, what are the limitation of image PDF voter rolls? Image PDFs are hard to analyze because they cannot be easily searched or indexed. With over 990 million voters, manually checking for duplicates or fraud is difficult. For example, Congress identified nearly 12,000 duplicate entries in one Bengaluru constituency by intensive manual review. Without machine readable data, detecting such irregularities nationwide is nearly impossible. So, Congress identified nearly 12,000 duplicate entries in one Bengaluru constituency by intensive manual review. About arguments for machine readable rolls, what are the arguments? Machine readable voter rolls would be in text format, allowing quick computer searches and automated checks. This would help political parties and activists detect duplicates and irregularities efficiently. Activists like PZ Bhatt have previously used machine readable rolls data to expose irregular vote addition before 2018. So activists like PZ Bhatt have already noted this. The opposition argues that denying access to such data reduces transparency and accountability. About reason for EC's restriction, in 2018, the EC ordered the removal of machine readable rolls from official website. The rationale was to protect voter privacy and prevent misuse of personal data by foreign entities. Then Chief Election Commissioner OP Rawat cited concern over exposing voters' full name and addresses. The Supreme Court upheld this stance in a 2018 case, stating that petitioner could convert image PDF to searchable text themselves, though this requires effort. What are technical and cost challenges? Converting millions of image PDFs into searchable text requires OCR technology, optical character recognition technology. However, voter rolls are divided into hundreds of small PDF files per constituency, making bulk optical character recognition processing, which is expensive and complex also. So, estimates suggest that processing all voter rolls could cost around 40,000 per summary revision list. So this financial and logistical burden adds to the election commission reluctance denying to release machine readable data. So election commission showing reluctance. Now, transparency versus privacy debate. Transparency advocates argue that public access to machine-readable rolls is necessary to detect and prevent electoral fraud. They claim political parties already have optical character recognition capabilities, so official release would not increase risk, but it improves scrutiny. Critics caution that exposing detailed voter data could threaten privacy and security. But balancing transparency with data protection remains a key challenge for electoral authorities. Next news is about India's vocational education reform for workforce growth. India's vocational education reform for workforce growth. India faces urgent challenges in enhancing its workforce productivity amid a volatile global economy. So recent government reforms aims to boost domestic demand and its investment. Central to this effort is a critical overhaul of the vocational education and training weight system. The existing vocational education and training framework weight system struggles with low enrollment and poor employment outcomes. Employment outcome is also poor and enrollment rate is also low. Drawing lesson from global models, they got lesson from global models. India seeks to transform its skill development, vocational development landscape to prepare youth for future employment. About current status of vocational educational system, India's vocational education system has extensive infrastructure, including over 14,000 industrial training institutes, 14,000 ITIs, and 25 lakh sanctioned seats. Yet, actual enrollment is only about 12 lakh, which is reflecting 48% seat utilization. Only 4% of the workforce is formally trained. Only 4% of the workforce is formally trained. Employment rates for ITI graduates hover around 63%, lower than countries like Germany and Singapore, where rates reach 80 to 90%. The system is unattractive and inefficient for youth. What are challenges? The late integration of weight vocational education system after high school limits, hand-on training, and skill orientation. Unlike Germany's dual system that blends, that mixes schooling with apprenticeships, in Germany, there is a mixing of schooling with apprenticeship. India also offers vocational education training as an afterthought. There is no formal pathway from vocational training to higher academic education. This discourages students who want to keep academic option open. So these are the problem with the students to keep academic option open. Furthermore, many vocational education vocational education training courses are outdated and it is poorly aligned with industry needs, poorly aligned with future job requirement. Also, instructor shortages and weak quality monitoring further degrade training standards are also there. Degraded and low standard of training also there. So India has an extensive VET network with 14,000 industrial training institutes and 25 lakh sanctioned seat. At annually enrollment in 2022 stood at just 12 lakh, 48% seat utilization. Only 4% of Indian workforce is formally trained. Employment outcomes remain modest. 63% of ITI graduates found jobs in 2018, while countries with strong vocational education systems such as Germany, Singapore, and Canada reported employment rates between 80 to 90%. So, Germany, Singapore, and Canada reported employment rates with the help of VET between 80 to 90%. So, this mismatch reveals a structural weakness in India's vocational education program system. So seats available and about the seat available for students and an actual enrollment 12 lakhs and graduates employed 7.56 lakhs. So these are the lacuna in the vocational education training system in India. Now, international best practices, countries with successful VET system integrate training early in education. Germany combines school and paid apprenticeships. Singapore also offers dual vocational tracks and clear academic progression routes. So these are the Germany and Singapore are following. These countries have industry-led curriculum design based on the industry. High quality instructors are also teachers are also there. Regular audits are there, and continuous feedback mechanism are also there. So these are the international best practices for their improvement and successful VET system. Public private partnership fund and manage training with employees, sharing cost and shaping curricula. So governments allocate 10 to 13% of education budgets to VET, much higher than India's 3%. So India is only using 3% for VET, and other countries are using government allocate like Singapore and Germany 10 to 13% of education budgets to VET. So it is a big gap in India's VET and other countries' government VET scheme. Now, recommended reforms. What are the reforms are required? India must integrate VET into early schooling as recommended by NEP 2020. Fast tracking national credit framework will enable credit transfer and academic progression. So, training quality should improve through alignment with local industry demand, expansion of national skilling training institutes, and better instructor recruitment is also required. So there is a better instructor recruitment is also required. ITI grades need strengthening with trainee feedback, public-private partnership, and MSME involvement should be scaled up. Increased public funding linked to performance and autonomy will enhance institutional viability. Recent government initiatives, scheme like Employment Link Initiative (ELI) and Prime Minister Internship Scheme focus on formal job creation and internship also, but lack integrated skilling components. The ITI upgradation initiative aims to modernize infrastructure but does not sufficiently address training quality, but does not sufficiently providing training quality. So these initiatives are incremental but and unlikely to transform job employability without systemic reform. So these are about that challenges in India VET system, late integration in education. Germany has dual model. India suppose high school start, weak industry linkage in India, government funding dependence, minimum private sector participation. Next one is a lack of pathways to higher education. Singapore's having polytechnics and India's dead end track. So these are the things which are lack of pathways to higher education in India. Now, quality deficit is also in India's in VET system. Outdated curricula is not updated, and instructor there is a qualified instructor vacancy are also there. Now, this mismatch reveals structural weakness in India's VET ecosystem, late integration in education. In Germany, VET is embedded at the upper secondary level through a dual model school and apprentice. Based online courses are also not available for VET. And then in India, VET begins only after high school, limiting exposure to practical skills and delaying orientation towards employability. There are also lack of pathways to higher education via polytechnics and universities. In India, VET is a dead end track with no defined credit transfer or academic mobility. So, which is discouraging aspirants who want flexibility. There is also the mismatch is quality deficits, outdated curriculum is not updated, weak industry alignment, and vacancies are also there in one third of instructor post, undermine training quality. Feedback loops with industry and trainings are missing. Audits and grading of ITIs are also irregular. So these are the quality deficits. Now, fourth is a weak industry linkages. International employers co-finance training, design curricula, and offer apprenticeship. In India, the ITI depend mainly on government funding with minimal private sector or MSME participation. Sector skill council lacks strong state level presence, further weakening industry integration. So these are the lessons from international models. Germany dual VAT system, early integration and strong apprenticeship culture. Singapore industry-led curricula, skills future program for lifelong learning, define academic pathways. Canada public-private partnership, strong employer participation in apprenticeships. These model highlight three pillars of success: early integration, quality assurance, and industry collaboration. So three pillars are early integration, quality assurance, and industry collaboration. So these are about that the increased VAT spending is required, public-private partnership, training qualities, and updated courses based on local labor market needs are required. Academic pathways are in seamless progression between VAT and higher education are required. There is must be the interaction between the progression between VAT and higher education. Early VAT integration are required, so there is a need of introduction of VAT from school levels, So these are the early VAT integration, then academic pathways, training quality, public-private partnership, and increased VAT spending, link funding to institutional performance. So these are about the pathways. So integrate VAT early in schooling, promote vocational subjects alongside mainstream academics to normalize skill orientation, create academic pathways, and improve quality of trainings, regular update courses based on local labor market needs that is required, expand National Skill Training Institute, NSTIS, and fill teacher instructor vacancies, institutional ITI grading, and incorporate feedback from trainees and employees are also needed to improve quality of training. Then fourth one is to strengthening public-private partnership. So engage industry in curriculum design, training delivery, and apprenticeship. Involve MSMEs through incentives and CSR-based models. Scale the private training partner approach by combining public infrastructure with private expertise. One is to increase public spending on wage. India spends only 3% of total education expenditure in vocational education training compared to 10 to 13% in Germany. So it is a very large gap. India only 3% of the total education expense on wage compared to 10 to 13% in Germany, Singapore, and Canada. So linking funding is required to institutional performance, good performance of institution while granting ITIs great autonomy for resource mobilization. So these are the things: integrate VAT early in schooling, then to create academic pathways with the help of National Credit Framework, improve quality of training, quality of instructor and ITI and NCTIS, strengthen public-private partnership, and then increase public spending on VAT. So employment link incentives are also required. ELI schemes which promotes formalization of jobs but lacks a skilling components. PM internship scheme are also in India, which provides only 1 year placement in top firms but with limited long-term absorption. Next is a recent government initiative in India is the ITI upgradation initiative, which modernizes infrastructure in 1,000 ITIs, though quality of instruction remains a concern. Instructors are not qualified. While this scheme are step forward, they remain piecemeal. Or for systemic transformation. For India's demographic dividend to translate into Viksit Bharat, vocational education must move from the margin to the mainstream of policy priorities. A comprehensive overall is required. Early integration in school, flexible academic pathways, high quality instruction, industry collaboration, and high investment, these are required. Next news is UGC draft learning outcome based curriculum framework. The University Grant Commission in 2025 released a draft learning outcome based curriculum framework for multiple disciplines. Learning outcome based curriculum LOCF. The framework aims to integrate Indian knowledge system into subjects like anthropology, chemistry, commerce, economics, geography, home science, mathematics, physical education, and political science. So this move has a sparked debate as some states oppose the focus on Indian knowledge, citing concern over ideological bias. So the University Grant Commission in 2025 released a draft learning outcome based curriculum framework for multiple disciplines. So integrating Indian knowledge system into subjects like anthropology, chemistry, commerce, economics, geography, home science, mathematics, physical education, and political science. The new UGC draft really redefined discrimination narrowly. It states caste-based discrimination applies only if directed against scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So this change affects how social justice topic are taught in political science and related fields. Inclusion of knowledge, Indian knowledge system in this, the learning outcome based curriculum framework in there is inclusion of Indian knowledge system. For example, chemistry honors courses begin with a salutation to Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Commerce courses, including teaching from Kautilya, Arthashastra, mathematics cover mandala geometry, yantras, rangoli, and ancient Indian contribution to algebra and calculus. So these are the inclusion of Indian knowledge system. The University Grant Commission has unveiled a draft learning outcomes based curriculum framework for undergraduate courses in disciplines such as anthropology, chemistry, commerce, economics, geography, home science, mathematics, physical education, and political science. A striking feature of this framework is the emphasis on Indian knowledge system with provision to embed traditional wisdom, philosophies, and practices into modern pedagogy. The draft has been opened for stakeholder feedback. Focus on Indian education system. So LOCF outlines an approach that seeks to contextualize higher education within Indian cultures and intellectual tradition. So these align with NAP 2020, which encouraged decolonization of education and promotion of indigenous system of knowledge, Indian system of knowledge. Each subject has been tasked with weaving elements of Indian thoughts into the curriculum, which is help in blending heritage with modern learning outcomes. So there are subject-wise integration of ancient wisdom, mathematics with geometry, yantras, ranglu, and kolam as algorithm, art forms, commerce with Bharatiya philosophy, incorporate with Bharatiya philosophy in Gurukul system of holistic learning approach. Then economics, there is a emphasis dharmic perspectives on wealth and prosperity, trade, ethics, and collective enterprise. In chemistry, traditional Indian fermented beverages like kanji, mahua, toddy will be included in a module on alcoholic beverages. The course also introduces ancient Indian concept on the Parmanu atom alongside modern atomic theory. So this integration aims to balance modern scientific education with historical Indian perspectives. About in anthropology, the draft anthropology curriculum draws from the thinkers such as Charkha, Susatra, Buddha and Mahavira. So this reflection on the relationship between nature and culture are presented as indigenous perspective that enrich anthropological studies. So subject specific Indian concept are commerce, economics, chemistry, and anthropology. So according to it aligns with the national education policy, which emphasizing on decolonizing education. About credit distribution and multidisciplinary approach. Despite the national education policies push for multidisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary learning, the LOCF prioritizes single major courses. So, for example, a BSc Chemistry Honors degree proposes 172 credits with 96 for core course and only limited general electives. Commerce follows a similar pattern, limiting cross-disciplinary exposure. About stakeholder engagement and controversy, UGC has invited feedback from educators and institutions on the draft. Opposition ruled states have protested the emphasis on Indian knowledge system, alleging saffronization of education. About criticism and challenges, while the NEP 2020 encourages multidisciplinary learning, the LOCF prioritizes single major pathways. So, opposition ruled states have criticized this framework, alleging attempt at saffronization. The challenges lies in balancing respect for indigenous tradition with ensuring global competitiveness and academic rigor in higher education. What are the significance of draft curriculum? This draft curriculum signal a paradigm shift in India's education philosophy by embedding Indian education system by amalgamation of Indian education system into mainstream education. UGC seeks to decolonize curricula and promote indigenous heritage, provide cultural rooted yet globally relevant education, encourage ethical and sustainable practices in professional fields, revive the historical contribution of India to mathematics, economics, medicine, and governance. About future outlook, with feedback from stakeholders invited, the framework could undergo revision before implementation. If adopted, this LOCF could redefine the intellectual foundation of Indian higher education. It also making it more rooted in cultural heritage, Indian cultural heritage, while aligning with global standards. However, there is also challenges which will be ensuring that ancient wisdom complements rather than replaces scientific temper, critical thinking, and multidisciplinary inquiry. Next news about the NTCA limits tiger corridors to 32 least cost pathways. The National Tiger Conservation Authority recently revised its definition of tiger corridors. So this change narrows the corridors to only 32 least cost pathway identified in the year 2014. This move comes shortly after the National Tiger Conservation Authority had acknowledged multiple scientific studies and parameters in identifying tiger corridors. Tiger corridors are important for connecting habitats, allowing tiger movement, gene flow, and species survival also. So this new restriction affects environmental clearance for development projects near tiger habitats. About recent development, recently the NTCA clarified that only the 32 least cost pathways from its 2014 report and corridors recorded in tiger conservation plans will be recognized as tiger corridors. So this decision excludes other scientific studies, including those by the Wildlife Institution of India and recent All India Tiger estimates. So the move has implication for a project requiring forest and forest line clearance near tiger habitat, especially in Maharashtra. So this move has implication for projects requiring forest line clearance near tiger habitats, which is especially in Maharashtra. About legal and administrative context, under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, projects affecting tiger reservoirs or corridors need approval from the Standing Committee of the National Board for Wildlife. Maharashtra State Board for Wildlife had limited clearance to projects within the list cost pathways, prompting legal challenges. The Bombay High Court is hearing cases questioning this restrictive approach. NTCA's volte face followed court scrutiny and ministerial discussion, denoting the need for clarity. So, importance of tiger corridors under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Project in or around corridors require approval from the Standing Committee of the National Board for Wildlife. So there are some scientific perspective is also there. So contemporary research highlights that limiting corridors to the least cost pathway underestimate the complex movement of tigers. So as July 2020, 25 study of Nagpur's LRC Foundation identified 192 potential corridors across 10 central Indian states, connecting 30 tiger reserve and around 150 protected areas. So this dense network demonstrates that multiple pathways, not just the shortest routes, are critical for tiger survival. So what are impact on development projects? The revised corridor definition benefits mining and industrial projects in Maharashtra. For example, Western Coalfields Limited, Durgapur open cast mines and Lloyds Metal and Energies, Surajgarh iron ore mines fall outside the newly defined corridors. Western Coalfields Limited, Durgapur open cast mines and Lloyds Metal and Energy, Surajgarh iron ore mines, which fall outside the newly defined corridors. These projects now face huge regulatory challenges, hurdles. So these changes raise concern about habitat fragmentation and tiger conservation effectiveness. About scientific studies on tiger corridors, earlier NTCA affidavits reference multiple corridor identification methods, including WII's 2016 and 2021 studies and AITE data. So these studies use advanced techniques like telemetry, landscape modeling to map corridors. Recent research by Nagpur LRC Foundation applied circuit-scape modeling, which is revealing 192 corridors across central India. About conservation and policy challenges, NTCA narrowing of corridors definitions contrast with scientific advice advocating broader connectivity. The 2014 NTCA report itself warned that its identified corridors were minimal, that alternative routes exist. The current approach may undermine long-term tiger conservation by ignoring landscape level connectivity. Refinement of corridor maps based on updated AITE data is underway but delayed pending legal resolution. Next is about the Sundarbans Tiger Reserve. Sundarban Tiger Reserve in West Bengal expanded in August 2025. So the National Board of Wildlife NBWL approved the addition of 1,044.68 square kilometers to the Sundarban Tiger Reserve. So this decision makes the Sundarban Tiger Reserve the second largest tiger reserve in India, covering 3,629 square kilometers just behind Andhra Pradesh Nagarjuna Sagar Sri Sailam Tiger Reserve. About expansion and approval process of Sundarban Tiger Reserve, the NBW National Board of Wildlife, which is chaired by Union Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav, he cleared the West Bengal government proposal to include the three tiger inhabitant ranges, Matla, Raidighi, and Ramgaha from South 24 Parganas district. So this proposal aims to consolidate tiger habitats under unified management. So these moves follow prior clearance by National Tiger Conservation Authority and the West Bengal State Board of Wildlife. NTCA and West Bengal State Board of Wildlife. Historical background: this idea to expand Sundarban Tiger Reserve dates back nearly 2 decades. Initial efforts began around 2005 and 6 but stalled. So renewed recommendation emerged in 2022-23 from the Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve Director Nilanjan Mulik. The formal proposal was finalized in 2024 and sent to National Board of Wildlife after extensive consultation. So conservation and management benefits: the expansion is expected to improve tiger conservation by bringing fragmented habits under one administrative umbrella. So it will help better implementation of NTCA guidelines and attract increased funding. Experts believe enhanced management will boost tiger population, currently estimated at 101 in this region. Improved infrastructure and staff capacity are also anticipated outcomes. There are few challenges also. Despite optimism, challenges remain. The reserve currently operates with only 40% of approved manpower. Financial constraint and operational difficulties persist. Local fishermen's groups have expressed concern about potential impacts on their livelihoods. The government assured that the added areas are buffer zones and the fishermen's interest will be protected. The Sundarban is about the impact. As we know, the Sundarban is the world's largest mangrove forest and a unique tiger habitat. So expansion may enhance biodiversity conservation and it also improve ecotourism potential. However, balancing ecological protection with the needs of local communities remain critical. Sustained dialogue between authorities. Sustained dialogues between authorities and stakeholders is essential for long-term success. So next news is Digital Connectivity Rating Agency. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India recently authorized 8 agencies as Digital Connectivity Rating Agency. This move follows the implementation of the Rating of Properties for Digital Connectivity Regulation 2024. These registration are valid for 5 years from August 27, 2025. So this agency will access and rate properties based on their digital connectivity, helping stakeholders make informed decisions. About background of the TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, released a draft manual to rate properties for digital connectivity. So this was followed by the official manual for rating of properties for digital connectivity in August 2025. So this regulation set up the first standardized framework in India to evaluate how buildings support high speed and reliable digital access. About the role of digital connectivity rating agency, the eighth authorized DCRAs, digital connectivity rating agencies. The eight authorized connectivity rating agencies include Ardom Tower Gain Private Limited and TUB SUD South Asia Private Limited, among others. They assess properties using a uniform methodology defined in the manual. So their evaluation result in a star rating that reflect the quality of digital connectivity within the buildings. Now, what are the importance of indoor digital connectivity? More than 80% of mobile data uses occurs indoors. Modern buildings materials often weaken 4G and 5G signals. Poor indoor connectivity affect work, education, healthcare, and daily digital services also. Reliable in building networks are important for maintaining service quality and consumer satisfaction. This is about the digital connectivity rating agency. So, unlock the power of the digital connectivity ratings. Ensure your building is digitally ready, transparent, and standardized. Digital evolution boost property demand with verified ratings. Contributions contributing to a smarter, more connected future. Reliable digital connectivity infrastructure and service performance. So, digital connectivity rating regulatory framework under TRICE 2024 regulation. So, it elevates. So, significance of this provides transparency and trust for home buyers and tenants. It improves network quality inside high density urban area. It aligns with real estate, with national telecom reforms and digital India vision. It encourages investment in digital ready infrastructure and strengthens consumer rights. It also prepares India for next generation communication system, including IoT and AI, artificial intelligence driven networks. About TRAI TRI, 19 as it is established in 1997 under the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India Act 1997. Purpose is to it is an independent regulator for telecom sector, ensuring fair competition, quality of service, and consumer protection. Function is to regulate tariffs and interconnection, promotes orderly growth of telecom and broadcasting sectors, ensure quality of service and consumer grievances redressal. It also advises government on licensing and policy. It's headquartered in New Delhi. So current role is expanding into digital ecosystem governance, including broadband, data privacy, and connectivity rating. So about the assessment criterion methodology, the manual said transparent criteria including fiber readiness, in-building mobile coverage is needed, Wi-Fi availability, broadband speeds, and overall user experience. It provides a standardized approach to measure digital infrastructure capability. This enables property managers and service providers to plan and maintain future ready digital connectivity. What are the benefits for stakeholders? Buyers, tenants, businesses gain more clear visibility because of the good digital connectivity performance. The star ratings guide decision making on property selection also. Developers are encouraged to integrate strong digital infrastructure from the design phase, improving long-term value and user experiences. There are few future implications are also there. The introduction of digital connectivity rating marks a shift in real estate standards. It promotes transparency and accountability in digital infrastructure provision. This initiative supports India digital economy goals by ensuring building meet connectivity demands of modern user. So next news we will learn in the next video. So stay consistent, read, stay focused, take notes, and keep moving one step closer to your dream. So next news we will learn in the next video. Was the next series. Thanks for watching.